Right. Okay. Yes, Daddy.
Hello, and welcome back to the AP Lazer Workshop Cold Weather Edition. I am joined, as usual, by my co host Alicia, the creative wizard behind all of this.
The very
And
cold Alicia.
we're coming to you from the balmy Michigan today, where the temperature is 13 but feels like 2. -2. That's a -2. It's, so. Today, whether you're joining us for the first time or you're a returning family member tuning in to see our conversation and discussion today, we welcome you and thank you for joining us. Make sure that if you're not already that you click subscribe, and then also click that bell to make sure you get the alerts for when we go live, because our schedule is a little bit it's not going to be like it's a regular frequency, so we want to make sure that you don't miss any of our great content. And give us a thumbs up if you would too. That's appreciated. But today we're going to be talking about the funeral business, and we have a very special guest with us. Mr. Matt Buxton is going to be joining us today. In just a few minutes, we'll be talking to him, and he'll be telling us a little bit about the funeral industry and his business and the stuff he does, and some good tips and tricks and discussion on the funeral business. I'm going to ramble a little bit, but I always do. Alicia, is it just Matt today? Do we have anything? That's all right. We're going to talk about that at the end. But sorry, getting off script a little bit. Yeah, we're not going to waste any time. We're just going to go right into speaking with Matt. If
While we're waiting for that to pull up, we can also talk about we have the advanced training coming up at Buxton's. I think that's next weekend now.
Yes, the advanced training is going to be at Matt's next week. I know he's taking some time out of getting ready for that to talk with us today, but we'll talk more about that after we're done talking to Matt. I think we got Matt on with us now. Matt, where is a little less cold in Florida. If you're not signed up to go, there's a chance if you can go next week. There's a chance that you can go and get some of that. Matt, what'd you say the weather was down there today?
Well, it was, in the like 56, 57 driving in this morning, and we're in
56,
the nice
57.
low 70s right now.
Hold on, you're muted. Hold on. Sorry. There you go. All right, yep, you're back. All right, you're there.
Now you can hear me? You hear me now?
All good?
There we go.
Nice.
So it was nice in the 50s, and we're stuck with -2 over here.
-2. It feels like -2. And but anyway, so there's not much room left. If you haven't signed up for the live training already, make sure you check in on that, because it's down in Okeechobee, Florida next week.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere is cold except Florida. He said it was cool this morning, not cold, but cool. But anyways, thanks for joining us today, Matt. As usual, it's always exciting to have you on and talk about the many, many different things you do. But your primary focus is in the funeral business. Can you tell us a little bit about um, how you start with the AP Lazer and the type of stuff you do? And sorry.
Sure. Well, I'm the owner of Buxton and Bass Okeechobee Funeral Home here in sunny Okeechobee, Florida, right on top of the lake. And my family's been in the funeral business for coming up on 44 years now. And I ended up picking up my first machine probably right around 10 years ago. And man, it's been a whirlwind ever since. Became good friends with you all and just kind of really dove head over heels deep into it. And it's been a blast ever since.
What would you say is probably your most common use of the AP Lazer in how in correlation with your AP Lazer or with your funeral businesses?
Engraving urns is probably the biggest thing that I do. Uh, my take on when I meet with a family and we go over everything, and or for cremation, I mean, they decide that they want an urn. I offer that if they get an urn from me that I can engrave, I do that at no additional cost. And as a result, it has highly increased my sale on urns.
You know,
That's just, I mean, that's probably the biggest thing that I do.
that's actually a great topic because I know I follow the funeral industry a little bit, but probably not as much as you. And one thing I do know is trends. I know when we talk about the funeral business, everybody thinks, oh, well, I don't want to handle these big stones and monuments, and I'm not equipped to do that. But isn't to what I understand that the cremation side of the funeral industry is at a very rapid rate growing right now. That is even starting to take away from some of the monument business, if you will, because there's so much the cremation industry is growing so fast. Can you tell me what you know about that, or?
Well, yeah, the cremation rate is certainly going up. In Okeechobee, I'm a little bit of an island, so my rate is a little bit lower than, say, the coast or, Palm Beach, Miami, something along those lines. Here I'm probably in the low 70% for cremation, which is still considerably high in comparison to a lot of places up north. But but you've got to be, shall we say, creative when it comes to cremation too. In okay, well, I'm not going to make as much money with the cremation as I am with the burial. So as a result, I need other ways to supplement the basic cremation income. So as a result, engraving the urns for nothing has increased my urn sales. I have two of the AP fiber lasers. I have a Galvo and a MOPA, and as a result, I do a lot of fingerprint and picture type jewelry on small stainless steel ovals, dog tags, other little cutout type things. I do a lot of that type of stuff. So I'm able to supplement it. And going back to the idea of monuments, Supernova also has a lot of cremation columbariums and different types of applications for cremation too. And that is really showing an incline of people's interest in those type of things.
Eddie R asks in the chat, the urns that you're working with, are they flat face or are they cylindrical?
All of the above. I will say that the vast majority of the cylindrical urns, quite a few of those cannot necessarily, um, they don't engrave as well or mark as well with the CO2 lasers. So the best thing that I do there, since I can't necessarily engrave them, I will make like a necklace that hangs around of them on the mouth of the urn with like a leather cord. And I have some different types of stuff, whether it be metal or wood or like a Romark type product, and I'll put the name and dates and the information on that. And it's just a nice little touch. Or I've even heated the stuff up, like the Romark. I'll heat up and put a slight curve to it after I engrave the Romark, and then I'll adhere it onto the urn. But I mean, I do Okeechobee is a very rural, rustic type place, so I do a lot of wood urns, and of course, most of all of those are flat faced. But then those synthetic marble on urns, I do a ton of those things too.
So it really depends. Sounds like it depends on where you're located at, what your business would kind of draw in.
And you can go to a place called makerscase.com. That's where I come up with my forms for the urns themselves, and then I can engrave absolutely anything on all the different sides of that urn. And then I have an industrial glue gun that I put it all together. And I actually, a couple of years ago, I actually made well over about 12 grand on that particular urn over the course of the year.
Oh wow! And what type of wood did you use for that again?
It's the like 3/16 inch Luan, or like the Baltic birch plywood.
Okay.
So it really sounds like it depends on where you're at. That you're gonna have different things coming in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, as with most things we do with the laser, things are gonna be regional and stuff like that. But um, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but I think that everything's gonna apply in most regions. It's just to what level and in frequency and stuff like that is what matters.
Getting a lot of feedback between the two of you.
Sorry about that.
You were mentioning in reference to
Oh right,
like
yeah,
where
yeah.
the way that I look at it is offer as much as you can and then let people pick and choose.
So I know that along with whether you're doing an urn or a monument or a ledger, um, that there's that sometimes you'll do other things. You might do other things for memorialization that might be available for purchase from the family, like add-ons and stuff like that. Do you have anything like that you do for your families? Or
Well, I have probably about a year and a half ago or so, there was a young child that was killed in an accident. And the little boy's favorite thing was the race car off of the movie Cars. So I did an outline of that car and put his favorite number and his name on that. And I think I made about 500 of those. And we had a basket with those sitting out in front of the chapel that everybody took. It's kind of that proverbial wooden nickel.
okay,
I mean, most of us remember those as a little kid. Whenever you go on vacation and go up north or something like that, those would be handed out.
well,
But
when
I've
you were a
also
little
done
kid.
little wooden, yeah, well, we're not that far off. But I've done little hearts, I've done stars. Um, I did a little like the old original telephone headsets, like the old push button or dial tones. There was somebody that was, um, oh, what do you call them? The people that answer the telephone for like first responders, whether it be the fire
Okay.
department or
Oh,
them.
dispatchers. Yeah, dispatch.
Yeah, dispatchers, that's it. Yeah, so I did a little phone headset for somebody that did that most of their life. There's a lot of little things like that that you can find and do.
Well, I know some of the customers I've worked with, guys. Back when I did all the trainings at one point, but back when I did trainings and stuff, I worked with a lot of customers, and I know some of the customers I'd work with, they would do um, when they're doing their photo layout or whatever they're doing, they would take like the portrait part of it, and sh- um, they would test it on like a 6x6 tile or a 12x12 granite tile. And one thing that they would do is they would share that with the family and almost like an add-on. Like the family wasn't expecting it, but they're like, here, the test comes out good on the granite because you're not using poster board, right? But they would do it on the granite, and then give it to the immediate family member that's dealing with the case or whatever, and then others would ask for that, so he would at a small price, whatever, do additional ones. But it was kind of a win-win, if there is a such thing in the situation, because he would test it on the granite and then give it to the family like an add-on bonus that they weren't expecting, and then it also helps kind of with your customer service and stuff like that. But
Oh, sure. That's very, very common. I've heard of a lot of people doing that. I am a big tester on poster board, and even just aside from testing, I've had several families where I have actually lasered a full 16 by 20 image of the person onto poster board. We've put that in a frame, and that's been in the chapel for the family during the visitation and service. But unlike on most all of my monuments, I do I could test something 15, 20 times just because I'm extremely picky, and I'll monkey with it until I can finally get it to where I'm personally happy with it. And a lot of those test runs I'll put all together and give those to the family. So then they got an extra little knickknack to go along with everything too.
isn't it funny how the more we laser, the higher our standard goes? It's what was good for me 10 years ago is garbage today. But
That's exactly the case. I mean, I look back and, in our early days of getting the user group that we have off the ground that you originally started, I mean, when I do some of our seminar type stuff, I say, look, when I started, nearly 10 years ago, if you could laser a cup without screwing it up, I mean, you were considered like a laser god, and now to think that we're doing stuff that you can hardly even tell whether it's an actual photograph or a lasered image.
right.
It just it never gets old. It makes my head spin all the time.
And that's something that I really love about like being part of the AP Laser family, the AP Laser community is I've been able to learn so much in my past, like year or so of working here. It's crazy. Like I've worked with lasers before, but I mean, my knowledge has surpassed what I thought was even possible thanks to, everybody kind of working together. You
Hmm.
can do a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty much. You've also got that creative mind that really helps you. That I can do all the technical stuff in the world, but I don't have that same creative eye that Alicia has. But yeah, we talk about the AP Laser user group. If you're not a family member yet, that's once you join us, once you have your AP Laser, you're in the AP Laser user group where it's a self-sustaining community. Of course we have our 24/7 AP Laser technical support, which you can call at any time, 365 days a year. World class, all North American based, and they'll take care of you. They'll help you fix your machine. They'll help you get over the hump on a design issue. But from the AP Laser user group, like you said, it used to be, hey, look at this tumbler I did. It's amazing. And everybody's like, yeah, that's awesome. And then now it's like, hey, I just got an order for 20 tumblers. And somebody else is like, that's cute. I just did 300. Whoa, okay. Which is good. We've had customers who've paid for the machines doing just tumblers. I had a customer down in the Rio Grande Valley that's close to a friend of mine that I served the Marine Corps with, that they bought the machine just because of their tumbler company. They had their own line of tumblers called Silverbacks, and they bought the AP Laser just solely to do tumblers. And I mean, they paid for the machine rather quickly. But yeah, the AP Laser user group, we've had a lot of growth in there. We've had a lot of what it was. It's kind of become itself. It's its own. It's alive, right? It's self-maintaining type thing. We're gonna be adjusting things a little bit on there. We're gonna be kind of changing the focus and making sure that we keep things kind of oriented to proper sharing. But when I say that, we're going to talk about we really, if you're sharing something on our AP Laser user group, we really want you to put what machine you have, what settings did you use, help educate us as we go here. Because we really, that's really what it's for, is to help. It's not just a platform for you to show off the amazing work you're doing and share the experiences you have, but it's to share the experiences you have and to help each other grow too. You won't find another community like what we have in the AP Laser family, where we're not competitors, we're family members, where we help each other, we'll send each other work, we'll help each other figure things out. You know, many times you get somebody, well, I'm not an expert in that, but I know who is, let me give you their number. And that's a really great community we have there. And Matt's been part of it, part of the growth of this for a while. We go back to the days when I remember when Matt was not doing very much on photos, and the growth from there. But I kind of had to learn along with everybody, because the photos I started out doing were very simple, but then we had to evolve and refine our process, and then we enter people like Chris Alexander and stuff like that. It really helped us move and not just learn the new processes, but also focus those processes in a structure and in an outline. So we talk again. I know we have the advanced training come up next week. What kind of things are you going to be talking about at your advanced training, Matt?
Well, Chris Alexander is going to be there. He's going to show his process for things. I think one of your other guys, if I'm uh, not
Andy.
wrong, I think one of their coming as well.
Yes, Andy's going to be there.
And yeah, so Andy's going to be there. Chris is going to be there. So I think really between the three of us, we're going to show our processes for pictures. If nothing else, everybody wants to jump into pictures, and everybody's got to understand that that's something that comes with time and education and a lot of trial and error. It's just not something that happens overnight.
Poster board.
Postboard's
Yeah,
your best
exactly.
friend. And there's
That's
going to be a lot
exactly
of
right.
sleepless nights where you just can't figure it out, but it'll click.
That's right. I mean, I tell people when you're doing your pictures or whatnot on poster board, lay the poster board out and just, okay, I did it here. Now I'm going to move over a little bit more and do it again. And every single time that you do it, get you like a gold magic marker, like a Sharpie, and write what your settings are on there and what you did. And then you can always adjust it, and then you can help really find your sweet spot for things. So the three of us are going to be doing pictures. uh, the Cardinal Casket Company, which is a Florida-based casket company, they have sponsored things. They've given me a full couch casket, and I have a couple other casket lids from them that we're going to be engraving the top of caskets. I'm going to show how to make my puzzle urns, the synthetic marble urns. I drove up to Michigan the end of November, and I brought back quite a few materials of different monuments, a slant, a bench. Um, they also sent me a while back a couple columbariums, so we're going to show how to put those type of things together. I'm going to bring one of my guys in to kind of discuss how to set monuments as far as concrete, setting compound, different things like that. And when you're done lasering a monument, of how to use color fill to accentuate the white or the color. Um, every single time that I make a removal from a home, we always leave a lasered wooden rose on the pillow, which is a nice little touch that has my Angel Bee logo on the back of it. So I know a couple people that were there in November that did some training with Chris and I there at the headquarters in Michigan. They're coming back, and I know two of the ladies, they're bringing their husbands, and they each of them own funeral homes as well. And they said, if nothing else, we want to come see what your operation is like, how you have your. I have a very unique room. Like if you want cremation, we're specifically going to go meet, sit down around like a kitchen or dining room table, and we're going to talk. And I have all of my urns. I have a lot of my fiber laser type fingerprint things laid out on the table. I'm the type that if you can't see it, if you can't touch it, you can't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I put all those things out there, and really if a family goes and sits in that room for a few minutes before I even come in, now they're looking at everything. And I met with a family last week, and the whole room was full. There was about 10 people in the room with me, and I'm going over a lot of different options. And I really kind of got the feeling that, oh man, I really wish this guy would shut up and stop trying to sell us something. I got that feeling, and I kind of sat back in my chair, and I said, look, I'm sorry. I don't want you to think that I'm trying to sell you something, or imply that. If you want something, great. If not, and all of a sudden the elderly wife stood up and she says, son, you just keep on going, because if you don't tell me, I don't have a clue of what I can and can't do. So with that, and I ultimately ended up selling a lot of like fingerprint and memento type things. If it's a burial type situation, I have another office that's specifically just for burial. It looks like we're sitting around the living room with couches and chairs. I got a coffee table, and on the coffee table, I have a big piece of black poster board that I have a couple practice runs on that I was doing. And I have a big oval type cameo of some laser work of my dad, who died about 7 years ago. So, and even if you don't sell something, people see it, and then that jogs their memory for later, or they see it and then we start talking. Oh, well, that's really neat. How did you do that? I also have a piece of 12 by 12 granite tile sitting on one of the end tables in the burial office of the first lasered picture that I ever did of my daughter and I, probably about 10 years ago. And again, it's something that they talk about, and now they're like, "Oh, I would like to go down that road too. I would like something like that." And ultimately, it's boosted my sales tremendously.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing out there, right? Is once we learn all the stuff we can do, is you gotta then, just like any other market, you gotta educate your customers or potential customers on what you can do. I think it's very important. And speaking of which, I know Eddie R asked in the chat, what is the maximum size stone the systems can handle? Thinking along the lines of single family headstones. And Eddie, that's a great question, and I'm sure Matt will speak on this a little bit too. But especially all of our newer machines are coming low riders. Mm-hmm. Low riders mean the laser head goes all the way to the bottom, and the laser head's also removable. So really, your only limit to what you can laser on the size of stone is your ability to move the stone. Matt, what's the largest stone you've done?
I have done a full 7 foot long by 3.5 foot wide black ledger. In
Wow.
other words, it was enormous.
Right. So, I mean, if you can do a full ledger, you could probably, easily do a larger family stone as well. You just have to have the carts and stuff to handle it. Correct?
Correct. Yeah. Moving, I tell people having the laser is one thing, but remember, you got to have the equipment to move that stuff around too.
Right. That's a whole nother field of education. If you haven't moved a stone before, you definitely want to experience it. Have Matt show you next week when you're down there at LaserCon, or not LaserCon, but at the advanced training, if you're gonna be able to be there. I said LaserCon. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's see, advanced training. The Lasered Canuck. I'm not sure what his name is, or their name is. Sorry, they're coming all the way from Canada. What part of Canada? Oh, Pembroke, Ontario. There it is. That's exciting. They really want to get out of the cold. I know we're cold here, but I've been following some people in my chicken group that's up in northern Canada. They're really cold. And then they use like Celsius, so that's just weird too. But it doesn't make it any colder. It's just weird to try to figure it out. No, I'm kidding. Cold is cold. My aunt called me the other day because I'm from Florida and my family lives in Florida. My aunt calls me from Florida, or sends a message from Florida that she had to put her coat on because it got down to 60 degrees. And I'm glad she couldn't see the look I had in my face when she said that, because that's shorts weather around here, and we're excited. The next week we're gonna get up to the 30s maybe. Anyways, so I mean, we talked about a lot in the funeral business. I know the thing is Matt. If for those of you who don't know, Matt Buxton can't be covered in one show. He needs a whole weekend to get all of his knowledge, and then it's kind of like going to Las Vegas or Disney World. If you go for a weekend, you're just scratching the surface. You need to, you're not going to see everything or get everything from Matt all at one time. We do thank Matt for joining us, and again, he is hosting our advanced training down there next week. You're going to see Matt Buxton, Chris Alexander, Andy from our production department. You're going to see Tong Lee. The Lees are going to be there, and a bunch of other AP Lazer family. If you've never been to one of these advanced trainings, whether it was here at Lansing or at Matt's place, or not Lansing, but Mason's. We're a Mason now. Just the fellowship you get from fellow laser users and communicate and see that they're learning similar things that you are. They're having similar struggles that you are, and they're overcoming those, and that you're able to overcome those. And you're really joining a network and expanding your network to have those resources available to you. I know it's short notice. We do have a lot of people coming to that advanced training. If the last minute on a whim want to jump on a plane or a Greyhound and head down to Florida for the advanced training, look us up. Talk to your AP Lazer salesperson, ask them how can I get down to the advanced training. If it's full or you're not able to make it, we have coming up towards the end of May, I think it's the week before Memorial Day, we have our next LaserCon, which is in Sandusky, Ohio, which is home to Cedar Point, and the event can be hosted at Kalahari Resorts in Sandusky, Ohio. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you've never been to a LaserCon, they never disappoint. The last one was in Vegas. We're not saying it's going to be Vegas LaserCon because Red Rock was a special kind of event, but it's going to be its own. It's going to be like that without the slot machines in Vegas.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
And you'll learn a lot. You'll meet people. I mean, I'm sure Buxton will be there, so you'll get that if you weren't able to meet him.
And you're going to see us in person, and I promise you I'm much fatter than I look on TV. So,
and I'm a lot more frazzled than I am on camera.
Alicia always says I'm not a people person. She's pretty good about talking to people, so
hey,
she's got a lot better.
I love to teach people
Yes.
about these machines. I mean, there's a lot to learn, and it's really fun, and it's a great community that we've built up. So
similar to an advanced training, the LaserCon, just for those of you who don't know, is not just for existing customers, it's also for possible customers. So we're going to have speakers on different parts of the laser business, whether it be online marketing or different types of stuff you do with the laser. We're going to have photo instruction. We're going to have grant instruction. We're going to have all kinds of instruction from different people, different professionals, different experts in the fields. But we're also going to have kind of exhibitors. We're going to have some stands set up, so whether it be JDS Industries or our AP Lazer Web Store, Supernova International, where our Granite, our parent company, or other vendors that we work with. And there's going to be a lot of Johnson Plastics. There's going to be a lot of possible vendors coming. I don't have all the details for you, but just follow us on our AP Lazer before you buy, our AP Lazer user group, because that information is going to be released very soon. I mean, within the next couple of days, we'll have all the information, so you can start signing up and booking your rooms for that and getting everything situated for the travel.
I do want to show. Sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I do want to show real quick too, if we can cut to my screen. If you go to our AP Lazer website, over under resources tab here, we'll have our events page. It's not up here quite yet, but I'll post it in both the groups, and I'll probably post it on our main page too, so everybody knows. As soon as registration for LaserCon goes live, it will be in this events tab. You'll be able to click on it. It'll show you the price, and you'll be able to register right there. So
yeah, you know, and thank you for bringing that up, because that link that that page she just showed you, if you see, you can check there to see the shows we're going to as well.
Exactly.
And you might see that we're going to be at a show coming to you in an area. Be like, hey, can I come and talk to you? I want to come say hi. Whatever show we're at, if it's in your area. Sometimes those are a lot of fun to come out and put faces and names and stuff like that. But either way, for those of you who are going to advanced training next week, I can't go this time. I have some other obligations I have to do for my for the VFW that I was committed. I was already committed to. Sorry, but I'm working off short sleep here. But I will be at the LaserCon. But I will miss you all next week. For those of you who are going, it's going to be a great time. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and then click that bell and click the all part to get all the notifications when we're going live and stuff. And we don't have a lot, so you're not gonna get spammed by our YouTube notifications. But I can trust you that if we're putting something out on YouTube, we only put out good stuff because that's the standard we go by. So you won't want to miss it. And click that thumbs up and give us a like there too.
Tagging off of that, I mean, we've started our tutorial series as well, so that's, we're going to have some cool how-tos. If you didn't check out the last one, I highly recommend it. Someone really great taught that class. I'm not going to say who.
Yes, so she is. Alicia is doing a lot of our how-to tutorials, and you're going to learn so much. And in her mind, she's like, I'm just showing you some basic stuff, but...
And most of what I have my design background, but I've learned a lot from the community. So this is all knowledge that we've kind of shared together, built up, and now I'm sharing it back with you guys. So
yeah, it's really, she's really good. She's taken time to learn different softwares too, which is always exciting, as I know that we have Corel users, we have Adobe users. We do have a couple questions. I'm sorry, I almost skipped over this. Just real quick, I want to go into a couple. If you have a question, go ahead and put it out there real quick. We still have Matt, so we can bring him back in if we need to. But one question I did get is it's cold. It's cold everywhere, even in parts of Florida, okay? So I've gotten a couple questions related to temperature. The one I'm going to bring up from the last time that I talked about again, the first question is, can we use the pink RV antifreeze in the laser? No. We used to. When I started, throughout the laser industry, other companies and stuff were saying, hey, you use RV antifreeze. And we did. We recommend using RV antifreeze. But then I started doing some research. I started doing some testing. I started doing some, actual research. And the RV antifreeze, what will happen is the RV antifreeze will... the moisture or the fluid, the water will evaporate out of the liquid, will evaporate out of the RV antifreeze, and it will go to a higher viscosity, and it will break down, it will clog your system, it will ruin your system, and make things really hard to work with. So because of that, I actually took the time to test a lot of different materials and chemicals and combinations. I tested several ones, whether it's ethyl alcohol or ethyl glycerin, and I landed on non-toxic, vegetable glycerin-based, non-toxic AP Lazer antifreeze. That is approved. It's not just a antifreeze, it's also a coolant. So if it's cold or hot, use it year-round. Replace it when you replace your air filters with the seasons. We have instructions on how to flush the system and empty the system to get the new stuff in there. And then the other question I had was, what temperature can you operate the laser at? What's the best temperature to operate the laser at? Above freezing. Above freezing, below boiling. That's pretty much it. There's obviously certain temperatures, things are going to run better, but if you're going to keep your machine in a freezing environment, you need to have the antifreeze in there. And unless you have a way to warm up the room, the only way to warm up the coolant is to run the laser. So I wouldn't run high intense jobs. I'd maybe do some warm ups on some poster board or something, kind of get the fluid warmed up a little bit to 10 to 15 degrees above freezing before you really start hitting anything hard with it. But the biggest thing is you don't want it to freeze. If it is in freezing temperatures, you have to have the AP Lazer antifreeze, which is the only it's the only approved coolant and antifreeze that we have for our machines right now. Just because we know that the other products that are out there can and will damage the machine, and the AP Lazer antifreeze and coolant will actually protect and help make the laser tube last longer and the coolant system last longer. Yes, Aaron looks like it. Yes, I need some AP Lazer antifreeze. It is cold. It is cold. I mean, I have a Michigan Cup, but I was raised in Florida, and yeah, I don't get used to it. So that's why we had our AP Lazer Workshop Cold Weather Edition. Matt, thank you again for joining us. As always, you're always welcome here. Is there anything you want to say before heading out?
No, I really appreciate you guys. It's always an honor to be a part of things. AP and Supernova has opened so many different doors for me. I have been all over the country and had a lot of good times and met more people than I could ever imagine. And it's always an absolute blast. And I enjoy teaching so much to different people. You can find me on Facebook at Matthew Paul Buxton. The funeral home is Buxton and Bass, Okeechobee Funeral Home. I will say that on my personal page, I really don't post much as far as the lasers are concerned. I really kind of keep that to the user group. But if you want to reach out to me, I mean, I've had 3 people that I know are coming next weekend that they've reached out and said hello and they were coming and what they were looking forward to. I have people that message me all the time looking for some guidance and help. So anything I can do, it makes me feel good to see you succeed and do well. And it's a ride that I hope never ends until it's time to go home, if you know what I mean.
I do. And it's one thing we have, like I said, we've built a family here at AP Lazer, and we're going to keep growing that family. We thank you again. Look forward to seeing you guys on our next AP Lazer Workshop. We will, as soon as we're lining up, our next guest. If you're interested in being a guest, make sure you send us an email to aplazerlive@aplazer.com, and we'll see if we can work you in. If you want to join us on one of our workshops. Our next topic we will have for you as soon as we lock down the guests. We're talking to a few different of the family members right now to get them in. Look forward to seeing you again. Click like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and see you guys next time.
Take care.